My sister told me her baby's name and I laughed. Now I'm not going to the shower.
Ooh, I bet it was stupid.
Probably a stupid name. My sister is due after in early January and we're planning her baby shower for early December. She decided she wanted to use my mother's maiden name, Rafferty, as her daughter's name, not a Tragedeigh itself. And I guess it works out as a unique name. By the way, this comes from Cooler Beans 1991 on the OK Storytime subreddit. So yesterday, I text my sister that I need to get the custom items with my niece's name ordered ASAP so they arrive in time for the shower. My sister then let me know they're going with an alternative spelling of Rafferty. I texted back an alternative spelling of our mother's maiden name. My sister wants to spell it Ray Farty.
No.
R-A-E-F-A-R-T-Y. Ray Farty. So I sent back a bunch of laughing emojis and she asked, what's so funny? I tried to explain that no one will pronounce that as Rafferty and she'll probably get plenty of the same mispronunciations. She told me I was being ridiculous. I texted back, my poor niece, little Miss Farty Ray. I was uninvited to the shower and my mom told me today my sister doesn't want me as the godmother anymore. But like, Ray Farty is really bad, isn't it? Someone needs to tell her, right? I don't know if updates are allowed here, but here it is. And sorry it's long and I've been having a hard time submitting it. Is there a character limit? I'll try posting some and put the rest in the comments. So we had an intervention on Ray Farty. I know everyone said to send a link to the original post to my sister to show her that 103% of the global population would call her daughter Ray Farty and that would be the easiest thing to do. But some commenters said some pretty gnarly things about my sister that she doesn't need to read and feel worse about herself. But I wanted to address a few things that came up. First, for those saying I shouldn't bother paying for the baby shower anymore, I had no plans to not continue to pay and help out. Disagreements and fighting aside, I love my sister and want her to go into motherhood filled with love and support, regardless of whether she wants my support or attendance at the event. Second, my sister's husband was made aware of the spelling change of Ray Farty about a month before my original post. He said he didn't think much of it until he saw it written down and immediately saw it as Ray Farty too. He said her emotions had been getting worse throughout the pregnancy and he didn't know how to approach her about going back to the original spelling.
Look at Ezekiel's.
Ezekiel said that kid will be called Gay Farty on day 1 of school. Dang.
That's so true.
Dang. He had hoped that when she gave birth, all the hormones would somehow leave her body. She'd come to her senses and it would be a non-issue. Dude. Third, a lot of you were lumping my mom in with my sister and said some pretty horrible things about her too. All my mom knew was from my sister calling her to complain that I laughed at her for slightly changing the spelling. My mom just assumed it was a minor change like Rafferty until I told her to grab a pen and paper and I'd spell it out for her. Once she saw it was Ray Farty, she was team save this child. Everyone's on board now. We're all good. The rest of the saga is in the comments. Now, for those of you who told me I didn't have any tact and my reaction was mean, my reaction was because 1, people would call the poor girl Ray Farty her entire life for the sake of my sister being quirky. 2, pregnancy brain aside, surely my sister would realize her child will be called Ray Farty once it's pointed out, have a laugh, change her mind, and this will end up being a funny story to tell at her daughter's future wedding or something. And 3, my sister is a bit of a joker, so I also initially thought she was just pulling a prank or joking. But if she was joking, she took the joke really, really far. She spent $400 on a mural painted on one wall in the nursery. She wanted to debut the finished nursery to everyone at the baby shower, including her husband, who was forbidden to see it beforehand, that had a Ray Farty incorporated into it that now needed to be repainted. She also bought herself a birthing gift. Is this even a thing? She'd have my brother-in-law present to her in front of everyone at the hospital a $900 gold bracelet with Ray Farty charms. The baby book also had Ray Farty embroidered on the cover.
Stop. No, why is she going so hard in the paint about this stuff?
I contacted my sister's best friend Katie, not a real name. If my sister has told her anything about the spelling change, she found out about Ray Farty after the blow up with my sister, as my sister wanted to get Katie on her side. Katie, who's a teacher, was equally horrified about the spelling and told me this is the worst attempt at a creative name she's ever seen. The intervention of sorts, the Farty party, if you will, included me, my sister, her husband, his mother and father, my mother, and Katie. My sister refused to believe anyone could possibly see Ray Farty as Ray Farty, and that we were just mad that she was taking creative license and that everyone does that nowadays. My sister said children are not that cruel to bully her daughter for her name, and Katie said plenty of kids are cruel enough and the others would join in so they're not singled out themselves. My sister countered that as long as all the adults are pronouncing it correctly, that it'll be no problem. And Katie told her that not only would the adults not know how how to pronounce it to begin with, but that as long as fart is in the name, kids will latch right onto it. I was happy Katie was there because she shared interesting names her students have had over the past few years, so I knew her opinion on this would probably be the only one to sway her. My sister cried for about 10 minutes and finally agreed to entirely change the name because even Rafferty was tainted because we had all ruined it for her.
Oh boy.
She is drama queen.
She's so spoiled. Like, the amount in gifts alone
That's
shows
crazy.
you what kind of person she is.
Kind of loud on those. We told her to take her time to consider a new name. She told us she still wanted to honor my mother, and she suggested she combine my mother's first name with her mother-in-law's name and create a name on the spot that included a crass term for a lesbian. What? How does she do this? 2 for 2, girl.
This is crazy. Why are we doing this? What? Stop. The baby's not born. We haven't signed any birth certificates. Stop.
How did she do this? When my mother pointed that out, she started crying again and accused us of not letting her be a mom, and her husband suggested we leave it for now and we should all go and give her space. It's been radio silence until my sister texted me a couple of hours ago that she and her husband landed on Theodora. Absolutely in love with it. Sure. That Josephine Dolberqui says, did she name her Diesler? That's what I was wondering. She even decided my unborn niece looks like a Theodora in the ultrasound. She got those creepy 3D ones done where every baby looks like the same copper potato. I replied that was lovely, and I'm so happy she's happy. It's not my taste, but at least it's not Theodora or some crap like that. By the way, you know what we're always happy about? You guys joining us live every weekday at 3 p.m. PST on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. Just tap our profile, and there is a little bit left to this story.
I am so glad that you love your niece this much that you fought.
You were fighting.
Left and right.
Yeah, and
for
you can
this.
tell her when she grows up, you're going to be like, your mom trying to name you Ray Farty. And then she trying to name you the Diesler.
Yeah.
And I said no. So there you go. My niece has been saved from being called Ray Farty. I'm invited to the baby shower again, and I know this is just a little blip with my relationship to my sister, and we'll be fine. But Katie will be taking over as godmother. Wow. Which is fine by me. I can always be godmother to their next child, which will probably be named something like Tara Masu. Thank you all for seeing the same thing I did and letting me know stopping Ray Farty from coming into existence was the right thing to do. But there are some comments. Commenter says, she also bought herself a birthing gift. Is this even a thing? What the actual F? Silly name aside, what is this? Some kind of social media fueled, look at me and how wonderful I am to get a gift as a reward for giving birth? This feels very tacky to me. The whole push present concept gives me the ick. Opie says, I agree. I've never heard of this before and it seems crazy.
The one thing I saw a husband gift their wife after
Sushi
they gave
platter?
yes
Yeah, I
the
saw
big
that too.
one.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so sick.
I would, if I pushed out a baby, I better be getting like a full meal.
Yeah.
I don't want any hospital food. I want like a pound of mashed potatoes and sushi also. And I just want a bunch of food. But also, if I ever ruin my body and pushed out a watermelon, I'd kind of want a reward too, though. Commenter says, pretty please tell us the amalgamation of her mother and mother-in-law's names. Opie says, there's probably no anonymity left on this situation, so here it goes. My mom is Leslie. Sister's mother-in-law is Yvonne. The name was Lesivon, pronounced Lesivon, like my niece is the lesbian baroness of some German village. I'll have the staff prepare the Birkenstocks for Lesivon Fartenberg's arrival. That's the end of that story.